Most entrepreneurs try to manifest both clients and the money at the same time and then wonder, why isn't it happening for me? Hey everyone, this is Acacia, the CEO legal coach, and I am here with the Aligned Business Series where we go live 3 times a week telling you real world challenges and giving you the solutions for them right here on the spot. But we also have a live open Q&A. So if you haven't found your chat button already, I see some of you. Hi, Martha. How are you? Coming on in. I'm gonna make sure I get to all of those. So keep that chat flowing. But we are here to talk about how can we manifest better. How can we manifest better? And one of the ways that we do that is as business owners, we want to look at the idea of, are you trying to bring in clients or are you trying to bring in money? Because they're not the same. They're not the same when it comes to manifesting, because trying to manifest both the outcome and the path at once is going to do a few things. One, it's going to split your energy. Are you trying to manifest an outcome or the way it's happening? Right there, you've already divided your energy into two and sending mixed messages to the universe. You also, as we're going to see here in a second, it ends up trying to control the universe. You're micromanaging the universe. Let the universe bring what you want, however the universe might want to bring it. So when you say $10,000 in clients, for example, let's say that's what you're trying to manifest and bring in. I want $10,000 in new clients. Okay, you're saying I want this value. I want $10,000. And I want that in clients. So, okay, is the energy for $10,000 or the clients? Let's look at that for a second. $10,000. If you wanted a $10,000 day, a $10,000 week, a $10,000 month, whatever it is for you and your business, the $10,000, does it matter how it comes in? Ask yourself that question really quick. If I wanted to manifest $10,000 or $1 million, does it matter how the universe wants to bring it to you? Because the universe can bring it to you in an unlimited number of ways. Sure, it could be through clients, but it could be through that funnel. It could be through that video you posted 2 years ago. I've had that happen. A video I posted on YouTube had almost no views. And then a year and a half later, thing went crazy. In one day, I was just like, what happened? And so when we start to see these types of things happening, we want to step back and say, I want the money. And when we want the money, I want you to just focus on the number. Let go of how it comes in. Even let go of how it comes in for your business. Does it even have to come in through your business? I had my parents once, they worked in the television industry and they had their own clients and their own photography studio and their own magazine. And they were doing all these things and they were trying to manifest $10,000. And the universe literally had somebody knock on their door, our door at home. And the universe had this person say, hey, I'm with one of the studios. We love the way your front yard to your door is. We'd love to, film a pilot here. We'll pay you $10,000. All you have to do is be out of the house this week and the kids out of the house, which the kids were already in school. So it was literally $10,000 shows up at my parents' door. And it was related to what they did. They, of course, knew the studio. They knew all those things. They wouldn't let anybody into their house. But if they had focused on trying to get it through their studio, through their magazine, through their clients, through their photography stuff, well, they would never have seen this coming, right? They just asked the universe to bring them $10,000. And then there it was. When you want the money, don't focus on the how. Literally focus on that number. That number focusing has been probably my fastest way of manifesting money ever. $65,000, $20,000 days, $10,000 ended up being in new clients. But I've also had $10,000 days that came in completely other ways. And usually within a day or two, if you're unblocked, that can happen like that. Because we're so focused on the how the money has to come in. We are micromanaging the universe. And in other words, we're blocking it from happening. So if you want a number in your business, focus on the number. Now let's go to the other part. What if you wanted $10,000 in clients? Let's say that's what you wanted, or $10,000 in sales, a $20,000 launch. Let's say there is a method at how you want it. When we want the method, we don't want the number, because there's a difference in how a $20,000 launch feels versus a $2,000 launch. So you feel into how the success of the launch feels at that level, not what the number is. We say, I don't care what the number is for my launch, for this funnel. I care the success feels like this. This is the level of yes, 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 I want to receive from the universe. And that is where we want to focus. So that's why it's really important. It's one of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make in manifesting is they try to say, this is what I want, and this is how I want you to bring it to the universe. Simplify it. If you want the number, focus just on the number. If you want the clients or the funnel work or the sales or whatever, focus on how that feels and let the number go. This is how you do that, because you are separating, you're diverting, you're shifting your energy and sending mixed messages. So you're diluting it into two categories and you're sending mixed messages to the universe. No wonder it's not happening. So we want to simplify that. And you can probably already see on the screen, I've got a free manifesting guide where I start to bring this alive for entrepreneurs. So here I'll put the QR code up too. Completely free guide that just talks about how manifesting is different for us as entrepreneurs and what the steps are to success and where these common errors are, right? Little things like that, where if you worked in a job, a 9 to 5, you'd be like, well, I want my salary to go up to this number. It's a lot streamlined. It's simpler. As entrepreneurs, we have a lot more we're handling out there, huh? So yes. Hey, Tinker. Yeah, I love it. Woot woot. I love it. So this is out there for you. I want you to have that. But right now, what can you do right here, right now to manifest that $10,000 in clients? Step one, pick one. Pick one lane. Do you want the number? Do you want this way, this method? Because all we want to manifest is the feeling on the other side of that. What does it feel like to have the $10,000? Or what does it feel like to have the launch success of $10,000? Or the funnel success of $10,000? They're different vibes. Feel into that. And know that you get to let the rest go. Let the rest go. Let it go. That's for the universe to do. I have had money just show up in my account. I've had money show up in my inbox. I've had clients come via referrals or recommendations, or like I said, one of my YouTube videos just like popped. And I was like, okay, that thing is so old, I forgot I ever made it. Little things like this. Let go of that and just focus on that end result and put all of your energy, your mind space, your heart space into that. All right. So that's what we want to do for our success as entrepreneurs is, are you manifesting clients or money? Pick one. Pick the one that you feel the most called, most aligned, and the most success to. All right. Let's get into these questions. I see them already there. Let's see. If I focus on the money, won't the clients just come in? So yes, but no. The clients are one way the universe could bring you that money. It's one way. There are other ways. Like I said, with my parents, it just showed up on their door one day. I've had it just show up in my bank account. I had an investment just go poof one day, and I was like, oh, okay, sure. Why not? I'll take that. When we just want the money, or we just let the universe decide the easiest route. Let the universe decide the easiest route, because the universe knows what's going on with everybody else in the world, and we don't. We don't. I don't even know what's going on with my dog some days, right? So let the universe decide. So could it come in via your clients? Yes. Yes, it could, but not necessarily. So we don't want to limit it, because what we're doing is we're putting like blinders, which become blocks. We're saying, here's my mental, emotional, and energetic space. I'm only going to do it this way. I'm only going to focus here, which means we completely miss all the other ways it could be being delivered to us. I have a launch coming up. Should I focus on clients or money? Which one feels right to you? Which one feels right to you? You were inspired to create your launch. What inspired you? What's the next level of that energetic space? Did you do it for the money? Did you do it for the clients? Did you do it for a whole other experience? What was it that your heart, your soul are truly, truly after? And take that to its next level and bring your energy there. Because it also, if you've already set up the funnels and evolved the work, you probably already feel aligned to take those actions, which means the universe is already on your side and channeling your energetic momentum that direction. We have energetic momentum. Keep building it so long as it's going towards the frequency and what you're after. The only reason you would ever want to change that is if you're like, wait a minute, that's not what I really wanted, or that's not what I'm really after, which is another one of the block areas. So I think that's in the guide as well, as where we think we know what we want, but oops, maybe we didn't. You're right. Yeah. Okay. So if I focus on money, how do I avoid feeling disconnected from my business purpose? Okay, that's true. Focusing on money, it's possible you were raised with the money is the root of evil. Focusing on money is selfish. It's not. It's not, because you can't run your business. You can't hire people. You can't help people. You can't help your clients if you don't have the funds to do that. So money is part of abundance frequency. But you also made your business out of your abundance feeling. So look to where these connect. Where are they one and the same? And which one succeeds the other? Which one, if focusing on the money seems short-sighted or feels off, then don't do it. That's not where you're meant to focus, because your business purpose has a monetary, subset to it. So fulfilling your business purpose helps fulfill that monetary element as well. See where they're aligned and let go of where they're not. Do not push anything that is not in alignment. But at the same time, maybe sometimes we have to stop and realign how we are to our business as leaders, or even what the business purpose is. We've seen businesses pivot. We've seen businesses drop their top one or two offerings, or their original one or two offerings, because they were no longer where the focus was. So things to look at that. The key is to focus on the one that you feel most connected, aligned, and in flow to. That's where your soul goal is. Let's see. What if I feel resistance in both areas? Okay. What if I feel resistance in both areas? Is it a block, or is it the universe nudging you to look at something else? So blocks come from within us. Blocks are mental. They're either conscious or subconscious. They are feeling, which means that could be like sensations in your body, like, oh, my gut clenches when I do this, or my toes cringe when I do that. But they could also be emotional, or they can be in your actions. Your actions don't feel right. Something's not right. Why is this so difficult? Whatever that is, notice, is it coming from within you, or is it coming from outside of you? If you're 100% aligned, your blocks are undone, and you're going, and you're feeling it from outside of you, that's the universe trying to give you little nudges. That's what I call resistance. Resistance is from outside of us, but blocks are from within us. So if you're feeling resistance in both areas, explore, journaling is great for the mental blocks. My Manifest Brilliantly program has a whole thing about like all these different areas about the block undoing. So figure out where that block is. Is it a mental feeling or an action one? And then try to remove it, because that's what's in your way. That's what's in your way. You're meant to have what you're called to have. So if that's in your way, get it out of your way, or sure. Yeah. And then go from there. But sometimes, again, resistance can mean neither of these is what you're called to do right now. And that's okay. That is okay too. Because sometimes I've been called to like hold networking events. Be like, all right, you know what? Don't focus on the money. Don't focus on the clients. Don't even focus on the funnel. Just go create an event. And next thing I know, as I'm creating it, as I'm talking to people, suddenly all the other things that I wanted are now in front of me. But they wouldn't have been if I was focusing on them. So different ways to view that manifesting. I have a monthly revenue goal. Does that mean I should always focus on the number? Focus on what you feel called to focus on. Having a monetary goal doesn't, like, if okay, I need to, this happens a lot with salespeople. I support a lot of salespeople. Like, okay, well, I've got my quota. I've got to hit the quota. Do you feel inspired by that quota? Does that inspire you? Does that feel connected? Does that get you out of bed in the morning in a happy, joyous way? If not, then be like, okay, I have this number. How else can I open myself up to feeling into something that will deliver that number, right? Today's call is all about, if you want $10,000 in clients, you don't actually focus on the $10,000. You focus on what it feels like to have those clients, to have those types of people, to have those types of conversations, to have those contracts signed with the yes, yes, yes. That's what you feel into. And then when you feel them at that level, they happen to usually either be at or sometimes above the $10,000 you were after. So that's the way I would say this. If you have a revenue goal, feel the number if you're feeling the number and let it come however it's going to come. But if not, feel into what you're feeling into and bring it up to that level of the number, because $10,000 in clients definitely feels different than $2,000 in clients. Okay, I think I saw one more, right? Yes, we do go live. I go live 3 times a week, guys, 3 times a week. And then I'll also put in some replays. So in case you miss some of the top level ones, they'll be in there as well. And don't forget to grab your manifesting guide. That's totally free, designed for entrepreneurs because we manifest differently. Where can I learn more about the process? Oh, I love this. This is exactly the manifesting guide has it. So a lot of manifesting coaches out there teach like 9 or 10 steps. That's exhausting. I don't know about you, but I don't have time for that. And in all of my success in manifesting, I've never needed 9 or 10 steps to get there. Ever. If I really had to break it down into as many pieces as possible, it's 5. It's 5, and I put them in the guide. And then in the guide, I kind of show you how I usually collapse it down to 2 or 3 steps. But it does take a little bit of practice to collapse them into 2 or 3 steps. But that's, 5. You don't have time for 10, and you don't need 10. So don't do 10. All right, all. This has been Acacia, the CEO Legal Coach. I will see you all on Thursday and live, same place, same time. Bye. Happy Friday. When you set a manifesting goal, you want it to happen as quickly and as easily as possible, right? Well, today we're going to see that there's actually 3 different routes and types of journeys you can go on through that, and knowing which one you're on and even being open to shifting between them can make your manifesting goals happen and appear in your reality that much faster and easier. Hey everyone, it is Acacia, the CEO Legal Coach, a longtime business advisor, attorney, and manifesting advisor as well. And this is the Aligned Business Series, where we go live 3 times a week, answering your questions live, but also sharing real-world stories and situations that other business owners are going through and giving you the solutions to them. Because what is the point of knowing that there's challenges in your life if you can't find the solutions? So if you're ready, today we are talking about manifesting as business owners and the 3 different types of journeys you might be on when you're manifesting and what you can do to shift between them to attract and bring your manifestation goal into reality that much bigger, sooner, and faster. So first off, if you're in there and in the chat, give me a yes, yes, yes. I see some of you already. Hello. Yeah, it's not luck. It is definitely not luck at all. So this is a real journey. This is a real journey that a lot of manifestors and business owners go on. Because what you're going to see here is as we go through these 3 types of journeys, one of them is what we've been trained to do as business owners. The universe has trained us this. College has trained us this. If you've ever taken any type of online business courses, classes, seen stuff on YouTube, you've been trained to do one of them. But there's 2 others. And oftentimes the other 2 others are faster. So, okay. First off, let's get into this for a second. What is manifesting? Manifesting is calling in your desires. We all were built with a core driven desire to express ourselves, to express God, the universe, whatever it is through us. And we were designed to have everything we need to make that reality. Everything. Because you can't be designed for something and then fail at what you were designed to do. So, what gets in the way of this? Blocks. Blocks are types of planning, mental, emotional, physical. So many different types of blocks may come in. And when we remove those blocks, it's just us, that purpose, that desire, what it is, and everything we need to make it a reality. So, a couple things to know. Of course, manifesting is not a one size fits all. Your journey is yours, always yours. But how you feel about that journey, even though you know what you're after and why you're after it, how you feel about that matters. And you're going to see that across the 3 journeys we're going to learn today. It's also okay to know to shift midway. There is no, I started this way, I have to finish that way. Screw that. No. As you'll see in one of the stories I'm going to share with you, I had a plan. And then as I started to execute it, I was like, I don't think that's what I'm inspired to do. I'm inspired to go do random stuff. And by doing the random stuff, my manifestation goal actually appeared within 3 days. Doing the random stuff, doing something completely unrelated to my goal. And the other thing to note is that the results aren't just the goal. Because when you're manifesting, what you're asking the universe to do is not just to give you the lump sum of money or not just to give you the clients or give you the success. You're saying, universe, turn me into the person I'm meant to be. Turn me into the person, give me the experiences, the challenges, and the enjoyment, the love and the passion to fulfill all of this. Because that's the thing, if you're not living it, there's something about you going on that isn't in that place. So let's get you the situations to step it up. You're capable of it. You were designed for it. Let's make it happen for you. Okay, what are these 3 types? What are these 3 types? So I like to call the first one type A. So when you're manifesting, you probably already know, you've decided what you're after. You have your manifesting goal. You're like, I'm here and I'm going there. And I want to get there ASAP and hopefully easily and happily. So type A, journey A, is when you know where you are, you know where you're going, and you know the steps in between. You might have even done them before. And this is great because you know what you're doing. You know how to get there. You know what to expect along the way. You have the plan. All you have to do is execute it. This can actually bring up manifesting challenges because what ends up happening here is, well, you have a brain setting a plan that can create rigidity, that can create inflexibility. Are you willing to deviate from that plan if there's a way to make it happen faster for you? Or are you, this is the plan. I'm going to do this and then this and then this. The other thing is you're trying to predict the outcome of every single phase, every single step. And while, yes, the brain and the subconscious feel it's safe to expect the same outcomes, the reality is we don't repeat things because you're different, right? Even now you're doing it with more confidence because you've done it before. Or maybe last time it was the first time you did it, so you were nervous and hesitant. Who you are is different. The universe is different. The way things are around you are different. Even if you just did this yesterday. So we have these expectations of identical results, and that can lead to, again, back to the over-planning, but also disappointment and frustration when things don't go the way we expected. And then we have just less openness along the way, but also to the outcomes. So we can end up being overly structured. We're saying how. Now, if you've ever studied manifesting before, you know one of the key things to do is to let go of the how. Let go of it. Where in a type A, you're actually planning, expecting, stating, controlling how. So this type of journey can actually do us harm in our manifesting if we stay too tight to it. But it can be great because we feel confident and comfortable, which means those types of blocks about insecurities and worthiness and all those probably aren't present for you. This is a very interesting balance for us. So being aware, if you're on a type A journey, that this is what might be happening in your manifesting. So you might want to explore going to a type B journey. All right, so here's the second type of journey, which, by the way, I have a manifesting guide, an absolutely free manifesting guide. Let me put this on the screen just in case you want any of this. Go ahead and grab that. But it's designed for entrepreneurs, right? Because type A, what we just talked about, the planning. Well, when you start a business, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to have a business plan. You're supposed to have a marketing plan. You're supposed to plan. You're supposed to follow the algorithm. A lot of supposed to's in that, right? A lot of supposed to's. Manifesting for entrepreneurs is a different type of challenge. We handle so many different things. And when you're on that type A, that first type of journey, that can get in the way of your success. So what is type B? Type B is the half here, half there, right? You know where you are, you know the destination you are after, and you have a pretty good idea of where to start or have an idea of how to get there, but you've never done it before. You're not 100% confident. You're not as planned. You're not as, if I do this, I expect this outcome. You're like, I think I start by making a website. I think I do this. You have ideas where to start, but you don't actually know the full bridge. And this can be really nice because you can plan some steps and still have an element of adventure. You can still open yourself up to, okay, so if I make the website, is that really the right step for me? And so on. You can be a little bit more flexible. But what can happen? Your inner insecurities could come up. Your inner control freak, your inner business planning could all come in and be like, okay, have to plan this. Okay, we cannot take the next step until we figure it out, until we've planned, until we structured it. And then we try to be balanced of that type A, the planning, the rigidity, the expectations, the control of the how again. Well, at the same time admitting, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, right? That's a kind of a weird sense of letting go of control and unknowing, the unknowing. Some of us are not very comfortable without having a level of knowing, a level of expectation. And when we're in that, it can create insecurity. And then you start to doubt, am I worthy? Am I good enough? Is this ever going to happen for me? Do I know what I'm doing? You ever have that as a business owner? I know I have. And that kind of happens here in the type B. The brain is part there. We got part of the plan, but then we also realize there's a whole gap and we don't trust ourselves. So when you're in the type B, it can kind of go both ways for you, right? You're forcing that linear progress. You're trying to control the how. You're trying to figure it out, but you might feel insecure and doubt yourself along the way. So what you want to do is kind of treat each of those steps or phases as mini experiments. And if you've ever read the Lean Startup, this is one of those things, just try something. What are you inspired to try? Step in there, see how it goes. No expectations. Let go of the how, let go of the expectations. If you have set up your manifesting goal correctly, where you felt into it and you've asked the universe for it and you know it's yours, well, trust that. Trust that you're going to be guided in that direction, that your intuition is on the right compass, and that anything between you and it are just blocks. Because sometimes you have to take an action that might feel like failure because you don't see the outcome immediately. But that didn't mean it didn't have an impact somewhere out there. I sometimes do this to remind myself that, hey, I'm being called to write this article right now. I'm going to write the article. No expectations. Maybe the universe just needs somebody to read this to help them fulfill their goal. It doesn't always have to be about me and meeting mine right here, right now. It can just be putting the vibes, the actions, the momentum into the universal space and letting it be that. And that's hard when you want to manifest something very quickly. Which brings us to type C, the third type of the journey. And don't forget, you can get your questions into the chat. I will get to them. I promise. So this third type is kind of the quantum leaping journey. It's the quantum leaping journey. You know where you are. You know what you want to manifest. You have no idea how to get there. You don't know how it's going to happen. You've never done it before. You might not even know where to start. Perfect. Perfect. This is powerful because you have maximum openness for infinite possibilities. You don't know what to do. So ask the universe. Ask your inner guide. Ask your soul. Ask God, whatever you're connected to. Ask it. Where do I start? What do I do first? And you'll be surprised how fast this one can happen. Because when you're listening to what you're being guided to do instead of what you've planned to do, the universe can work its magic in all the things that your brain can't see. It knows what's out there. It knows what's in motion. And you've asked to find your place in that. And if you have no blocks, no doubts, no insecurities, and you don't have an overly rigid plan of how, there's nothing between you and your goal. The universe can bring you to it and it to you faster. So I know that this is going to feel like a challenge, right? It feels counterproductive, feels uncomfortable. What do you mean? I know how to get from here to there, but I have no idea where to start. That doesn't really make sense, Acacia. I can't know and not know. You, your brain, your planner, your journal doesn't need to know. Your inner guide already does. If you've truly been called to manifest that end goal, it knows how to get you there. That was the whole plan. That's why you were designed. That's why the universe was designed for you to be part of it right here, right now. It has that. So let go of the trying to figure it out and fill in the blanks and focus on feeling of the big goal of being complete. And you will find that your inner compass will get you there. It will. I'm going to tell you a story on one of these where I was kind of on a type B, shifted myself to a type C, even though it felt way wrong. And not really wrong, but just my brain didn't get it. So here I was trying to get more speaking gigs. And I was like, okay, I think this time around I'm going to update the website. We're going to get a video speaker reel because my speaker reel wasn't in video form. And I'm going to create a list of people to reach out to. Okay. So I was like, yep, set my goal, do all these things. And then I start my journey. And I'm like, this doesn't feel right. Setting up the website and reaching out for my, I don't know. I don't really feel aligned to this. Something isn't right here. And so I just kept meditating on it, asking my inner guide and all this stuff. And my brain was like, this is what you do. Like, this is how you do it. You update the website, you do the reels, you do. But internally, my inner guide was like, nah. And I go, what do you want me to do then? And it goes, I want you to focus on your trainings. I'm like, my trainings? What? So after a few attempts, I was like, no, I get it. I'm feeling the nudge. I'm just not meant to be on my type B anymore. I've got to let it go. I only knew the start of the journey, but I had to let it go. It didn't feel right to my inner guide, even though it's what my brain really wanted to do. It's like, here's the plan. Here's what you do. So I was like, screw it. My inner guide says to work on my trainings instead of my speaking gigs. Okay. So I started to do that for a couple days. And on day 3, I had a meeting with one of my training partners that I work with, the Small Business Development Center here. And we were just talking. We also just love to chit chat. We've become friends over our time together. And she just stopped me. She goes, have you ever thought about being an inspirational speaker? Yeah. Why? I know some people who are looking. I would not have said the words I said in that meeting. I would not have had the stories and the glow from inside of me, the way I spoke those things, if I had been focusing on my website and my speaker reel in the 3 days prior. But because I was focusing on something else, what I felt inspired to take action on, I energetically was in a different place. I spoke with different words, and they sparked a speaking introduction that I never could have planned for. My brain didn't know that. I don't work with her for that stuff. I work with her for other stuff. I would have never thought she knew anybody who did that. The universe took me from a type B to a type C. And by honoring that space, 3 days later, I had an introduction for what I actually was trying to manifest. Right? So do we see how this can work, going from type A to type B to type C? As business owners, we've been trained to do type A. The closer we can get ourselves to a type C, the more likely we are to manifest our goals easier and faster. So let's do a quick, just kind of comparison. Type A, this is where you know where you're going and you know how to get there, you've likely done the steps along the way. This can bring up attachments to past methods, expectations. You're assuming the history will repeat itself, and you're not leaving the space to try different things or for different outcomes to occur for you. The type B, where you know where you're going, you generally have a plan or part of the plan, but maybe you've never done it before. You might start overthinking those gaps. You might be forcing some type of linear action, trying to get the puzzle pieces to fit in a way that feels they're supposed to. And you might be trying to fill those unknowns with busy work, your supposed tos, the shoulds. This is what worked for everybody else. Those are the things we want to let go of in that type B. And then type C, look, yes, it can have a fear of the unknown, and it can sometimes bring that awkwardness about what is inspired action versus what I'm planning to do. When we do something that we are planned to do, we're like, this is the way the plan is, we're saying, I am going to manufacture this outcome to happen the way I want it to. I'm going to force it. You want it easy. That's not forcing. Forcing and easy are different. So leaving ourselves open to what we feel called to take action on, and to let go of any impatience when you don't have those immediate results. You don't know what the universe has in motion. I have had moments where I wanted to manifest something, and a video I posted a year and a half ago suddenly goes viral. I forgot about that damn thing. I posted it a year and a half ago. And the universe is like, I already know everything you've built and done. I know all of the energetic space you've put out there. And I know how it connects to everything I've asked of you for the greater cause for everyone. Okay? So, just some last notes. Permission. It is okay to not know every step. It is okay. It's also okay to release the timeline. Release the timeline. It's okay to manifest, hey, universe, I want $20,000 by the end of August. Cool. But don't hold to the timeline, because what you might be doing is actually trying to force it to take longer. What if it could happen today? Do you really want to wait till the end of August? It's also okay to feel like your first action feels small. You don't have to the whole thing. Those little bits of momentum, they matter. Momentum comes out of energy. Energy is manifesting, right? Little pieces matter. Little pieces matter. In fact, there's a book right now that's growing in popularity. I forget who wrote it, but it's the power of slow productivity. How sometimes taking years to do things in little baby steps can result in bigger outcomes, bigger success, like ultimate lifetime legacy. Like after you're dead, 200 years later, people still know your name and your work because of how you went about it, right? And it's okay to try something new. It's okay to change your journey type from type A, type B, type C. Jump around, whatever feels right. What are you called to do, and see what happens. All right, let's get into these questions now. Let's see. Let me get in here. Woot woot. Okay. What if my last attempt at a type A failed? Should I try again? Remember, past results don't necessarily mean it's going to happen this way. At the same time, there is the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. The key is not what you may or may not have done in the past. The key is, where is your energetic space? Where is your head space? Why are you doing those actions? You're supposed to, you should, it worked in the past, or are you not doing it? Are you feeling called to do it, but you're not doing it because it failed in the past? Just because it didn't work last time doesn't mean it won't work this time, because who you are is different. It's about the energy you bring and whether or not there's any mental blocks, emotional, feeling, physical, action blocks involved. So, and I am going to kind of pick up the word, should I try again? There is no such thing as should in manifesting. There is only your truth, your energy in your space. Whatever your calling is, that is uniquely yours and yours to succeed with. That is where you're meant to be. how do I stop comparing this attempt to past results? Well, let's see. For one, you're not the same. You're not even the same person you were last night when you went to bed. You're different today. Your mood's different. What's around you is different. Your plan for the day is different. I'm sure your inbox looked different. All of these energetic moments are different. And if that's what it is for you, repeating the same type of schedule, imagine what it is for the whole universe. Everything is different. So you can't compare this to last time because this isn't last time. Everything is different. So the opportunity to align, the opportunity for miracles is all unique to this moment. So when you're trying to repeat the past, we need to realize that that's a block. You can't repeat the past. Everything is different. So it's about how you feel, that inspired action, like I had said, right? So I'm going to do a quick analogy for a second. So a type A, let's say you're doing vacations, right? I don't know if you've ever taken a vacation, you've gone somewhere different. A type A is like, okay, I've been to this destination. I'm going to repeat that again. And maybe you repeat it every year. My aunt and uncle have this. They have a favorite place in one of the islands down in the Caribbean, and they just go every year. And so now the first time they went to a resort. This time they could do an Airbnb and, save costs and all that. So they've got their favorite place they go every year. Well, one year, now the cruise ships are in the harbor and their favorite beach is packed and the prices went up 10 times and it's different. It's the same, but it's different. So we can't expect the same results every single time. Now, if that had happened the first time, they would have been like, this is just the way it is, but they have expectations because they've been there before. A type B would be you go to a new place, but maybe you have kind of a set itinerary, right? And you kind of have an idea of how it's supposed to go. I'm on vacation. This is the itinerary. I've got some expectations. And if you've ever been disappointed or frustrated on a trip, you're like, this isn't how it was supposed to be. It was about the expectations. But then if you also have ever had a great travel story, it was probably a moment things didn't go as expected, and they ended up going better than planned. And the only thing that was different is your whole mindset about it. Isn't it sometimes funny when your room isn't available and now you get to sleep on a hammock? In one ways, that might sound horrible, but in another way, that might sound liberating. It's about our mindset when we're there. And then type C would be like booking a one-way ticket somewhere. I mean, like, let's see what happens. I did that with my digital nomading, and I gave up my home and everything. And I had 5 weeks planned at a place I'd never been before, never been to that city, never stayed with that line of co-working and co-living. I didn't even know if the Wi-Fi worked. But I'm like, we're going. Next thing you know, I was on the road for nearly 2 years, having the time of my life. And some of them were the biggest manifesting days ever. I still can't believe the universe gave me all of that like that, because I had zero expectations. I just showed up and trusted myself to know what I needed to do or needed to say in any moment. And if something did go wrong, that I knew how to take care of myself. And I would have the friends, the family, and the credit card to get me to safety. That's the difference between all these. Do you see how a completely different type of experience along the way? This is what it is. So when you're comparing, again, to the last results, back to your question, this is what's happening. Where are you allowing yourself for the magic to happen? And giving yourself that space based on what you're called to do. Yeah. How do I know when to plan versus when to let go? Aligned action sometimes does have planning, but you don't plan and then take the action you planned. It's the order it goes in. When you are in a type A, you're planning, okay, tomorrow I'm going to do this because this is what's next in the plan. Okay. That is a manufactured, overplanned, rigid. Where if you're like, okay, this phase is done. What do I feel called to do for my next phase? Maybe you're called to do the same thing that you had down on the plan, but called to do it a little differently. So the planning is not that you don't have an idea of how to get there. It's where that idea came from. Where did the idea come from? Did it come from your brain trying to structure and control and have an outcome? Or did it come from your soul, from your light, from your energy? And then also how you go about it. How you go about it. Are you using the words you feel inspired to write in that email or that marketing copy? Or are you doing what you're supposed to do? Okay, I have to put a pain point, and then I've got to do the how matters too. So that's the difference between planning and letting go. It's not that you don't have an idea where you're going. All of these, you know where you're going. But how we decide what steps to take when and how we do them are what shifts. That's the key. Is there a best type for money goals versus relationship goals versus career goals? Okay. Is there a best type? The best type is what you're aligned to. My best type is not going to be yours. I have a different calling in this world than you. I have a different background than you. The way the universe is going to have me take action in this world is going to be different than you. It comes down to that inner guide, that inner voice, and what is calling you to, and how it's calling you to achieve that, to bring that about. So there's not a best type. The key here is to notice which type you're on. Are you on a type A, a type B, or a type C? Notice which one you're on and seeing, is that the best for your success? This is great for identifying both opportunity but our blocks. That's really what this is about. And if you've ever been in my Manifest Brilliantly program, my whole manifesting is 21 days of building your soul goal and bringing that into reality in all these other ways, is we use this as one of the ways to find the blocks, because that's what matters here. If you're called to be on a type A, that you have the plan, you've done it before, cool, and you feel totally inspired for every one of these actions, do it, baby, do it. But if you're starting to realize, oh, my brain is trying to control this, my subconscious is scared, and that's why we're doing this. Now we've got blocks, we're seeing them. So a lot of times in true manifesting, you'll waver between A, B, and C. But usually the more we can practice getting into a type C and watching that manifest our things faster and easier, that tends to work the best. But that does not mean that there's never a type A or type B moment in that. What if I've never done the whole thing before, but parts of it feel familiar? Does that still count as type B? The blocks, right? The goal here is going to be like, I am on a type A. This is how I'm going to do it. I am on a type B. These are meant to be a tool for you, a resource to help you succeed. Because success in manifesting is our alignment, it's our calling, but it's finding those blocks. Finding the blocks is 80 to 90% of the work. Finding them and removing them. Because you're meant to have what you're called to have. You're meant to live that. And if you're not living it, it means there's something between you and it. And that between you and it is not time. It's not the resources. It's a block. So finding that block and removing it. And so that is why I created these three types of journeys, is to help you find them. Find them, call them out, and remove them. That is the most important thing. Take your soul. I love it. Your soul is meant for greatness, love. It's meant for greatness. Keep being great. Keep being love. Keep following your heart, because that is what matters. What if I have zero ideas for first steps? What if I have zero ideas? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. If you're called to it, your internal guide already knows how to get it. So what you want to do is stop trying to think of the ideas and start feeling them. Asking your soul, asking your heart center, where do I begin? Soul, you want me to bring this type of abundance into my life. You want me to bring this type of product into my life. You want me to support these types of clients in my business. Where do you want me to begin this journey? How can I live this journey out in a way that is fulfilling and joyful? And I promise you, if you sit, you will hear an answer. You will hear an answer. Now, what sometimes happens is in the beginning, your brain is going to get in there. Little squirrelies in there. All the voices, that song you heard, the lyrics, they're going to repeat in your head. Blocks. Slowly let them fade until you hear and feel it. Okay. And the way that message comes up might be a little different. I will admit this. And the more I talk to other people who have the same type of manifesting approach that I do, the way the answer could come up, it could be a color, it could be a word, it could be general inspiration. I feel inspired to suddenly go do this. I've had that. I was once suddenly inspired to go for a walk. And along that walk, I found not one, but 2 new clients. What? Yeah, just because I was inspired to take a walk and I went for the walk. The universe knows what you don't. So you don't have to know anything. The universe is your superpower. It created you. It wants you to succeed. It designed you to succeed. It's telling you where to go. Ask it for the guidance because it has your answers. It 100% has your answers. Oh, I love you guys. Look at all these compliments. You are all the sweetest. Thank you. Thank you. I love that you are all here. My name is Acacia Thornton, the CEO Legal Coach. Again, I go live 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 10 a.m. Pacific time. I also stream a lot of the replays on YouTube. So if you want to check out my channel, it's at CEO Legal Coach. Have a great weekend. I will see you all on Tuesday. What if the universe had 20 ways to bring your business $20,000 this month, this week, even today? Are you open and ready to receive it? Today is all about 20 ways the universe could give your business $20,000 right here, right now. Hey everyone, this is Acacia Thornton, the CEO Legal Coach, longtime business advisor, attorney, speaker, and manifesting coach. And today we are doing the Aligned Business Series. This is where we go live 3 times a week, talking about real world challenges and issues that business owners are facing, giving you real world solutions that you can take and act on today, right here, right now, but also answering your questions live. So make sure that you find your chat button because any questions you have about today's topic, I'm going to answer them right here live. Now, today, like I said, we are talking about 20 ways the universe can bring your business $20,000. Now, why is this a topic? Because when we're talking about an aligned business, we talk about manifesting as a business skill. It is a business skill, and it's a business skill because when we want a desire, we feel into that desire. We send our energetic signals that way. We try to align the universe to bring that in for us. But as business owners, what ends up happening? So many times we end up, well, okay, if we're going to create a new funnel about this product, here's how the funnel shall be structured. Here is the way that process is going to be. Here's how we're going to test these various data points. And here it becomes very logical. It becomes a manufactured process, an algorithm, something that, well, guess what? Doesn't have the feelings, the sensations, the inspiration that manifesting is. And so today we're talking about one of my favorite exercises to do with my clients, and it's called the 20 ways exercise. And we'll dive into it in a second, and I will literally list out for you 20 different ways the universe can bring your business $20,000. So think for a moment. When you're wanting, let's say, $20,000 in clients, are you thinking $20,000 or are you thinking clients? Because when you want $20,000 in clients, what you're saying is, universe, bring me $20,000 and do it this way. Here's how I want it done, universe. I want it to be done by you bringing me clients. I want this $20,000 or whatever dollar amount you pick. I want it to be brought to me this way on this method. And that is actually a manifesting block. Yeah. See, our brains are set up to think. They're set up to problem solve, and they're set up to make sure that we are safe. That's why our brain is so logical. It takes in so much information and processes it quickly for us using those subconscious ideas and lessons from our life to be, okay, I want a new product. This is how I'm going to lay it out. But there's a couple challenges with that. Challenge number 1, our brains only know what it has been exposed to. Maybe it's a lesson you learned, maybe it's something you read, maybe it's something you saw on a podcast or YouTube channel, but it's using Former information. It's using past information to do what? Attract your future. Past, future. And then it's also trying to keep you safe, which means it wants to do things it already knows are possible, steps it's already taken before, or things it's seen other people do. It's reliant on old ways of thinking to bring you here. Now, of course, the brain is an amazing and wonderful thing, and I'm very glad it doesn't have us walking off the ledge or touching the hot stove or doing too crazy of things. So, as business owners, when we're trying to attract that $20,000 or whatever the number is for you, we want to make sure that we're opening ourselves up to more than one way of how. When we're manifesting, all that we want to be focusing on is the end result, that end goal, that end feeling. Let go of the how. And that's why this 20 ways exercise is so potent and powerful, and why I use it with my clients. So here's the way the exercise works. And then I will give you the list of 20 and we'll answer all of your questions, okay? Because I see some of you chatting in right now. Yes. Yay. Hey, Mary. Hey, Mike. So the 20 ways exercise. Whenever you're trying to manifest an outcome, what I want you to do is feel into that. What does it feel like to have that $20,000? What does it feel like to have those clients? What does it feel like for whatever outcome you're after? And then once you're into that and you know it, I want you to start to write down all the ways the universe can bring it to you. All the ways. And I've chose 20 as a particular number for a reason, because your brain will usually come up with somewhere about 2 to 5. Okay, I want $20,000. Well, that can come in clients. That can come in this one funnel. That might come in a speaking opportunity. I don't know, maybe I'll win it in a lottery. And then your brain starts to just dribble off. But the universe has infinite ways it can bring that to you. The universe knows everything you don't know, and definitely everything your brain has not been exposed to. It knows what's happening in the market. It knows what's going to happen next week and next month as far as energy is concerned. So when you send your energetic signal out there, this is a great time to show our mind a few things. And the reason I have us write down 20 is it causes our mind to expand itself, to start to see that there is more than what it thought was possible out there. But also it does that subconscious element. It shows your brain that these other ways are safe. It calms the nervous system. It takes it out of protection mode, control mode, and opens up the house to more infinite possibilities, which is the truth, reality, the way the universe can bring it to us. This is one of the reasons it's so important to let go of the how when we are manifesting, is because 8 out of 10 times, it's not going to come the way you want it. So if you're only focusing on the 1 to 2 that you can see that your brain is focusing on, you're literally going to miss the other ones that are right in front of you. And so as you'll see from this list that I'm going to give you here, this is just a list I made one day. And because I was having this challenge, I was like, I've got a business. I would like $20,000. Where is it going to come from? I felt I had to have the answer. As business owners, we feel like we have to have a plan, right? There has to be a business plan before you can even start your business. Everything has to have a model, a formula, the funnel. Does it? Does it? Or is that just one route that we can do? So after your brain stops, so after you're doing this 20 ideas, after your brain stops around that 3 to 5 ideas step, rest and let your subconscious start to calm. And then show that it's safe in all these other ways for the money to arrive. And I want you to start creating your own list as you do this, because I did this the other day. I like to review my goals before I go to bed every night so they can settle into my subconscious. I like to feel into that, so I have beautiful dreams and thoughts in my sleep. And one of mine is that I wake up to something in the morning. And I was like, well, that can't happen today, because I don't have the 20 ways set up yet. There's not enough ways for that to happen. And I go, none of that thinking. That's doubt. That's uncertainty. That's blocks. This is the universe we're talking about. The thing that made everything. The thing that makes all things possible, the thing that made the dinosaurs walk, that the earth is like here, the universe, literally the universe, beyond the heavens and the spaces. That thing can do all of that, but I'm limiting myself to what's available on my website right now. So I go, okay, Acacia, list 20 ways that you can wake up to this. And I did. And I kept going and I go, oh my God, there's 20 ways that it could logically happen for me tonight. Logically happen, let alone all the ways the universe could. So as I did this exercise, it calmed my brain, it calmed my mind, and I was able to go to sleep to something amazing, right? So, and FYI, this is an exercise that I have in my free manifesting guide. So if any of you want those, I've got a guide for entrepreneurs manifesting, because manifesting for us is different. We use our energy differently. We create differently. So there's a different way. So I've got a manifesting guide and I've got some of these exercises in there. This exercise is in there. So what are 20 ways the universe can send you $20,000 now? 1, a new high-paying client. You might get one single client willing to come give you $20,000, $25,000. You might get 2 or 3 of them that are worth $10,000 or $15,000 each. You ever have clients just come out of the sky or just into your inbox? Like, wait, what? I've had it where clients in the past have been like, hey, so-and-so just asked me this question. Can you handle this? Sure can. Love to. Thanks. What perfect timing. Or I've had former clients come in and be like, hey, I have this issue now. And I was like, I just talked to you last week. You said nothing was going on. And now this, I love it. Of course, I'm there to say yes and be there for you. So that is number 1. Number 2, you might suddenly get a bulk order for your products or services. A bulk order. I had this happen to one of my neighbors. He had been working with a client for a long time, and he just kind of does, an order of 100 things for them about every quarter. That's it. Well, then one day they go, well, we just bought another distribution line, so we need to 10 times that. Can you do that for us? Out of nowhere, he just got an order to 10 times it for his existing business that was already there. He doesn't know when his clients are going off and merging and acquiring other things. So he, out of nowhere, had a bulk order for his products or services that actually continued on a quarterly basis. So over the next 3 years, his business literally 10 times for doing nothing. Incredible, right? Referral program. Now, you can get referrals from your satisfied customers or even people who know you but aren't a customer. Ask for referrals or feel into that. Is that something that you feel called by the universe to do, is go get some referrals? And maybe you can turn some of those into long-term contracts. Another way that a lot of business owners don't always remember, unless this is your business model, is the idea of grants or funding. Grants or funding. I ended up having this happen to me. I was at a business event, just kind of networking, and I was talking to the local small business development center, just chatting with them. And they go, you know what? We just got a grant that we need to hire somebody to do these things. You want it? Sure. Yeah. What do you need? I'm all about this. And it was absolutely perfect. They had a grant they had to spend. Other times you can apply for grants, because especially as political and economic needs change both locally, but also in different industries. Sometimes I've seen banks do things where they're like, hey, we're required to now spend $1 million in funding into this local community. We have to find people to do this, right? So go find it. You'd be surprised. What wasn't there yesterday might be there today. Speaking opportunities. And speaking opportunities aren't just a TED Talk. They could be an inspirational personal story. They could be training for local businesses or training for whomever the types of companies you support. You might even get to go train some of your competitors. They may enjoy your expertise and how it aligns to theirs, and you can go train them on things and get paid for that training. Collaboration deals. This is great. Can you collaborate with other businesses? This is really good if you have a vertical where, like, marriage, weddings is a great one. Maybe you're a florist. Okay, go partner with the local venues. And then maybe partner with the people who do the calligraphy for the invitations. Where else in your vertical Can you cooperate and build better business relationships? Because not only do these relationships lead to better money, because it's just cross and sharing your branding, you can cross and share your client base, but they're also the type of business relationships that often down the road lead to mergers and acquisitions or bigger, better business situations, IPOs and things like that. It usually comes out of some type of collaboration that happened at one point. Licensing or royalties. Can you license your intellectual property or add some type of consistent revenue? One of my clients, she does design work. And we had this as like one of her sparks of genius because she loves to give, she has videos of online training, how to do these things, and she gives them to her clients at the end of her programs. And it was like, well, why don't you license those? Like your clients don't need those in perpetuity. They're not paying for that in perpetuity. What if they get it free for 6 months after they've worked with you? But then if they want ongoing, they have a license to continue that. Or maybe some potential clients for yours already have what you offer, but they don't know how to maintain it themselves. They may want to license these videos you already have available, and you're narrowing who they could go to, only your private clients. Are there other ways to take this and license intellectual property you already have? Sell digital products. Now, this is a big one in this market, so it may not be a aha moment, but go back and look at the list of things that are selling because that always changes and updates. Ebooks, courses, templates, something with AI. AI is out now. Can you update something that you've had and shift it to become AI friendly in some way? That's going to be a huge market for it. So look at what the market's looking at now, because that's one thing about being an entrepreneur is we care about what is the market buying now. Right. Number 9, we're not even halfway through our list. Can you believe this? I hope this is sparking some ideas for all of you. We're only at number 9 right now. That 20 different ways. Remember, this whole thing started at 20 ways the universe could bring you $20,000 because what you were trying to manifest was $20,000. You see how making this list and busting it open to 20 different ways, these are all logical things your brain could have come up with, but probably didn't out of habit, out of those pathways that it has built in. And now we get to expand them. And like I said, this is one of the exercises I have in my free manifesting guide. So if you're an entrepreneur looking for more ways to enhance your manifesting practice, go ahead and grab that guide. So this next one is affiliate programs. Are there services you use or that you sometimes end up recommending to your clients? Even though it's not something you'd ever create or offer per se, it doesn't mean it doesn't relate to what you do. A great one would be maybe you do logo design. Well, an affiliate might be a website or a hosting service. I know one with me is that like I always have available for my clients when you're a worksheet, a checklist when you're setting up your website. You need to make sure you're legally compliant in a lot of ways now. A lot of ways, like the FCC, the SEC, they are all involved now. And you got to make sure those are all there. But some of them require a technology update that as a lawyer, as a business coach, as a manifesting leader, I understand them, but I'm not inspired to build those back-end technologies. But that doesn't mean I don't know some of the best ones in the market to use. Like I don't know the ones that are helping my clients or that they love. I can recommend those and perhaps get an affiliate program, add it as an affiliate link. These other ways that we can build a different type of revenue structures is affiliate programs. Partner with a similar size company that sells to the same customers. We leaned on this a little bit earlier when we were talking about collaborations, but now we're looking at literally who sells to your customers. Who sells to your customers, even if it's something totally different. Totally different. It doesn't even have to do with your business. It doesn't mean you guys can't work together and cross-sell into each other's customer bases. I supported a Fortune 500 client that did this. They would offer data offerings, and they're like, okay, our data is now going to be great in this market, but we don't know anybody in that market. What can we do? Well, it turns out they actually had a friend who knew somebody in that market. And so they just set up a partnership deal, a resale deal, where now their friend's company got to sell into their existing clients this other offer and ended up doing really, really well. To where they end up having the number one company in that market come to them at month 10. Really, really incredible, just from that sort of leaning into a market that you hadn't been in before. So number 11, unexpected contract renewals. Unexpected contract renewal. A past client might return. You might be able to extend an ongoing contract. Do something like that in a way that maybe is the same offering, maybe it's a little bit different. What's the next level for your clients? I taught this at a sales meeting for a Fortune 500 once, and they sold into attorneys. And so they had this product, and they would be like, okay, that covered almost every area of law, from wills and trusts to family law, intellectual property law, business law, and the list goes on. And what their sales reps were doing is they go into every law firm and be like, look, you can do all these things. And I was like, guys, when a lawyer has picked what subject matter they like, if they're doing intellectual property law, they're not going to suddenly want to go do wills and trusts. They're not going to suddenly want to do family law. They've chosen the area they love. So what do? You see what the next step is for their existing clients. And so the example I gave is, let's say you're talking to a patent law company, and this law firm writes patents. Cool. Okay. You don't have to know anything about patent law, but a patent is a type of intellectual property. What are they doing with their clients? They probably send their clients off to a business attorney now. Well, what if they could help the client with the next step? What happens after they create that patent for their client? Well, their client probably wants to create a business or license that patent. They probably want to make revenue now, right? So why don't you offer to that patent firm helping their clients who's already in front of them now get a license deal, or the license agreement template, or the LLC? Little baby steps. What is literally the next thing for your client when they are done working with you? What can you do to support that and bring that as part of your revenue? 12, pay ahead models. Pay ahead models. Can you get clients to prepay for anything? Can you get clients to prepay for anything that you hadn't thought of before? Discount bundle offers. Create irresistible bundles to clear out old stock and boost sales. Or the things you can now bundle together. Maybe your clients are doing this and this, but not that, but you know they're going to be better off. Why don't you bundle it and give them discounts? Create different type of collaborative bundles within your own offerings. Partner with a large brand. Big companies. I recently had a talent agency leave me a voicemail because they had become familiar with my business and they thought that this big celebrity might be interested in working with me. Imagine that. Out of nowhere, I come back from vacation, I got a voicemail, big celebrity name is interested in working with companies like yours. And this was legit. And I ended up talking to the assistant and then ended up talking to the agent and so on. I could have had a big collaboration on this level. And so while I wasn't ready to say yes to this particular celebrity, I was willing to say yes to talking to that agency and that agent, because I'm like, there might be something down the road where this does make sense. Let's keep in touch on this, right? The universe brought me that out of nowhere. Literally, I came back from vacation and had that voicemail. I was like, oh, hello. And it was real. It was legitimately real. And so now I have a partnership with a big celebrity if I want to. When I want to, I already have the in, I already have the pricing structure, I already have all the details. I'm ready to say yes whenever I'm ready to say yes. Thank you, universe. So who else is a big brand name? Who else is a big name that you maybe can get out there and go to the next level? Business competitions. Number 15. We're still going to 20 here, guys. This is a 20 list and we're on 15. Business competitions. Enter local or national business competition. There are competitions for so many different things out there. So many different types of competitions that just get your name out there. I love speaking and I love emceeing. So I do a lot of things in that area. And my CEO legal coach brand comes along with me. So it's not literal to what I do, but it's part of who I am. And so when people connect with me, they could connect with everything that I've created and everything I share. And that includes my brands like CEO Legal Coach. Media features. Get published in a magazine or feature in a podcast, right? I've had somebody just land in my inbox. I've had some of these where I reach out. I have had some where I just end up connecting with somebody on LinkedIn, and it turns out they are the main person for a particular big name editor at a big publishing house, right? So what are different ways that you could be out there? Blogging, guesting, podcasting. What can you do? How can you feel into that? Are you feeling called to use it as part of your inspiration here? Because if you feel into that, ask the universe to bring that to you however it wants to bring it to you. I can tell you I've had some weird ones just come out of nowhere. A silent investor. Attract an angel investor interested in supporting your vision. When we get to certain points in our life and in our businesses, we start to turn to the idea of legacy. What is it that I'm going to leave behind? And people start to donate money, create causes or support causes, and create the ventures that go into this. Can you be part of any of that? As the legacy person or as the recipient of somebody else's legacy gifts, or just even getting an investor. Like I said, sometimes I've seen banks in my area because I work with the small business development centers and SBA. Well, they'll be like, the banks have to give out $5 million in the next quarter. And we have only given away $1 million. Acacia, do you know anybody who could take this other $4 million? Literally have had that happen. So just because you had a no yesterday does not mean it's a no today. Don't let it stop you. Number 19, asset sales. Can you sell something? Physical, inventory, old equipment, digital assets. Are you done with some intellectual property? Okay, sell it. What else can you get rid of? I knew somebody who ended up getting random money from selling the car that was sitting in their yard. She was like, I never had thought of that. I never had thought about selling the car that's in the yard, you know? And here she's like, let's just go put a for sale sign on it. And before she even could do that, somebody came to her door. Hey, are you selling that car out there? The universe brought it in a totally different way. All right. And so don't forget, we are going to do live Q&A here in a second. So if you have any questions about any of this, any manifesting, any bringing $20,000 into your business, any of this list, this exercise, please go ahead and put them in there because I'm going to get to those questions momentarily. So what is number 20 on our list? What is the 20 ways the universe could send you that $20,000? A way only the universe can. Pure magic. Pure magic. I have had $20,000 just randomly show up in my inbox. I have had money randomly show up in investment accounts. I've had it show up in my mailbox. Did you know that there was this lawsuit and here's your payment for it? Did you know that you were overcharged for this? Here's your refund check. I've had it come out of literal nowhere. Slot machine winnings, gifts from family, lotteries. We listed 20 today. 20 is not everything. It's not everything. The universe can bring things to you in infinite ways, and that is the power of manifesting and letting go of the how. Let go of the how. Use this exercise to expand your horizons over and over again. Like I said, in the manifesting guide I've got on the screen, absolutely free, it walks you through how manifesting is different for entrepreneurs. And it's got a few other exercises. This one is in there, but a few others just to help you expand and open up to magic. Because our brains try to narrow it, plan it out. Business plans, it's got to be in the funnel. It's got to be the algorithm. Screw that. Screw it. It does not. It does not. Because I can tell you, most of the magical ways that's ever happened for me was never in any of the things I planned. It was never them. It usually comes out of just pure magic with connecting with other people. So let's get on to these questions. Let me open my chat box. What do we have here? Yes, it's real. This is real. This is real. I see that. Yes, this is real. This absolutely is real. I'm real. The universe is real. You're real. Your callings, why you made your business, what you're driven to create, those are all real. You feel them. It's a real sensation. You know it's possible because you've already started, you've created your business. You've created your products and your offerings, and you've connected with people. You exist, therefore all of it exists too. Question number 1, what if I don't care how it comes, but I still can't stop thinking about trying to figure it out? Okay, this is your brain overthinking. Your brain overthinking. Remember, your brain is helpful. It keeps us safe. It does good things for us. It's not like I don't want my brain. I love my brain. I've learned so much from having my brain, went to law school, business school, and so on. But what has happened in my past, what I have been exposed to, is not everything. It's not everything that's happening in the world. It's not everything that Warren Buffett's done or Amanda Francis has done or every entrepreneur out there. I don't know all the different ways they've done stuff. And I don't know what the universe has on the horizon. So if you truly don't care how it comes, calm your brain to not care how it comes either. Feel into what you're calling in and let that be your source of inspiration. Use this 20 ways exercise to show your brain there's infinite possibilities, and use that to calm and settle the mind so that it can get out of its own way, get out of your way. Because mental blocks, there's 3 types of blocks. Mental blocks are one of the biggest limiting ones out there, but they're also the easiest to remove and shift. Yeah, great question. How often should I do the 20 pathways exercise? However it's useful to you. You can use it whenever you feel that you're trying to figure out the how and you're overthinking. Like I said, when I went to bed the other night, I know that I want to wake up to something, but I was like, the business isn't ready yet. There's no way that can happen yet. And I go, that's a block. That's a block. Give me 20 ways right now that can happen. And I sat there and I go, oh my gosh, there are more than 20 ways. I was telling myself it couldn't happen yet. And here there were 20 ways that I could literally think of in my own business this can happen. Okay, I look forward to waking up in the morning. So whenever you feel that you're trying to overthink, you're trying to plan, you're trying to be rigid, you're trying to look at what's happened in the past for you or in the past for other entrepreneurs, what are other people doing? Fuck it. It doesn't matter. The universe is not reliant on what's happened in the past. The universe is not reliant on whether somebody else has succeeded at this. The universe is not looking to repeat your life. You don't really want to repeat your life, do you? You want the next level. Let the next level be the next level. So anytime you're doubting that, overthinking it or something, the 20 ways exercise is a great way to all of it. What if I can only think of 10 ways? Okay, if you can't get through all of it, bring it in pieces. Bring it in pieces. Calm, because one thing that sometimes can happen is you don't want to overthink the 20 either. The point of the exercise is to calm your brain and to think back to every way you've ever gotten money in your life. Ever gotten any money in your life, not just your business, but your life. Gifts, maybe you won something, maybe you had an interesting networking thing. This happened with one of my things. I wasn't manifesting money, but I was trying to manifest some more speaking gigs. And I'm sitting there like, okay, the plan, let's update the website, let's get a new speaker reel, let's do these things. And my mind just goes, Acacia, you're trying to control the process. What do you feel inspired to do? I'm like, honestly, I feel inspired to focus on my trainings. Okay, you've felt into what you're manifesting. You've asked what you're manifesting. Yes, you've done all of that work. Yes, but yet you are inspired to go work on your trainings. Yeah. Okay, then go focus on your trainings. And this is counterintuitive, right? Counterproductive. Why would I go work on my trainings if what I want is speaking gigs? And so I went and I worked on the trainings. And I had a meeting that week, which is one of my normal partnerships. And because I was working on my trainings, we were talking. We love to talk. We're actually great friends. And I just started talking about the things I was up to lately. And she stops me and she goes, have you ever thought about being an inspirational speaker? Yeah, why? I know a few people who are looking. What? I was focusing on trainings. I work with her for business trainings on to business owners in the area. We don't talk about speaking gigs. But because I had listened to what my intuitive nudge was to not focus on the speaking gigs. If I had been focusing on the website and the reel and all of those things, sure, they would eventually get me more speaking gigs. But the universe knew if I was in a different mindset, if I was in the yes, yes, yes about training mindset, I was going to have a different story at this meeting. I was going to have different conversation. I was going to pick different words. And that led to speaking gigs. So if you can only think of 10 ways, don't hold your mind to this, right? Let it go for a second and just see what inspiration comes up from within. Because that is where your universe calling is. That's where what you wanted to manifest came from anyways. So let that continue to be the source of your inspiration. Follow it and trust it. Do I need to take action on all 20 things? No. No. This exercise is to get your brain to let go of the blocks, of the mental blocks, and to feel safe in letting something else that it can't think of happen. So it's got those dual things. It's opening yourself up to more creative ideas, like we just talked about. When it comes from what are you actually inspired to do? That's what we're asking the universe for. If you're always focusing on your funnels and clients, and that's not where the money's coming, maybe we need to stop focusing on those areas. And this exercise gives you, it allows your imagination and your creativity, your energetic flow, fill the blanks of the other 15 spots on this list. And so from there, where do you take action? The one that feels the most inspired. The one that feels the most inspired. Like I said, when I was trying to do some speaking gigs, I could think of the things to do. I could think and set out the plan, but my inspiration was telling me to do something else. And that ended up being the more effective, faster, quicker result. That my brain couldn't see it. My brain had no idea that person worked with inspirational speakers. Had no idea. But here it was, my answer in 3 days. Pretty amazing. So only take action on the ones you are inspired to. The purpose of the exercise is to open up this creative flow, open yourself up to other ways and see what inspires you. What if I don't believe it's possible? If you don't believe it's possible, it's never going to happen for you. But I also want to take a second and ask, then why are you trying to manifest it? Why were you called to manifest this in your business? If you're not called to manifest it, if you're called to manifest it, part of you believes in it. Otherwise, where did that inspiration come from? A part of you believes. The rest of you that doesn't believe is probably your doubts, your mind, your emotions, aka blocks. Blocks. Anything is possible, especially if you can think it, because where did your thought even come from? Where did the idea come from? Why is it that you're after $20,000 right now? That's an arbitrary number, by the way. You're the only one who got that signal from the universe, because the universe is calling to do something through you. You're the one who's set up for success at it. You're the only one who doubts that. The universe gave you the message because the universe wants it through you, which means it's possible through you. And a part of you believes, otherwise you wouldn't have said, that's what I want to manifest. So work on removing those blocks. Anything between you and that success and that big yes is a block. Work to remove them. And you'll be surprised how fast it happens, because the universe wants it for you. That's why you're the one who got that idea. All right, I think I've got one question left. There it is. What if my business needs money urgently? Will this still work? I've had money show up in 24 hours. And I didn't even have to take an action. Again, the urgency is a block. That I am desperate, I need. These are blocks. These are energetic signals saying there's not enough out there. There's no way for me to say yes right now. There's a way for you to say yes. There's always a way for you to say yes. It's you who's doubting it. It's you who's saying it's not possible for me right now. Because I can tell you it's happened to me more than once. I manifested $24,000, just under $25,000 I think I don't even sure it took 36 hours. Yeah. And I've had other $10,000 days just because I felt into it and so on. So it's possible for you. There's no timeline. You're the one who says a timeline. The universe doesn't care if it takes you a year or if it takes you a day. To the universe, time doesn't exist. You're the one who's saying time exists. Has anybody else ever done it? Has anybody else ever gotten this money in a day? Has anybody else ever achieved this in a day? Because if they can, why can't you? That proves it's already possible. The universe did it for somebody else, and they probably have done it for more than one entrepreneur and business owner. We all can probably list a number of stories that we've heard where somebody saved the day last minute in their business. Why can't you? The only person who doubts that is you. So these are all blocks of lack, not enough, I don't believe in myself, and so on. Fuck that. All things are possible right here, right now. You're possible because you already exist. You have this drive, this goal, this idea because you were meant to have it, which means it's yours. And as soon as you remove those blocks, you can have it same day if you wanted to. Absolutely. All right, all. This has been Acacia, the CEO Legal Coach. We go live 3 times a week. I will see you all tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Bye.